Welcome back to the Backstage at Open Highway podcast. I am your host, John Henry. I hope you're doing well. I just did a great, fun, engaging interview with Sunny Sweeney, who will be at the Golden Record this Saturday, August the 10th. She's a killer artist, fiercely independent, really fun to talk to, deep knowledge of country music and Americana, and she has a new gig as the host of a new show on Sirius XM, Outlaw Country. I'm pretty sure if you are a listener or viewer of this podcast, you listen to Outlaw Country. They basically play every artist that we've worked with, so seems logical to me. But yeah, she has a new gig there as a host, in addition to her show on Willie's Roadhouse. And like I said, she's going to be at the Golden Record this Saturday with the great Hunter Peebles. If you're listening to me on this and you haven't heard of Hunter, you should check him out. He's a really great songwriter based here in St. Louis, artist, all around good dude. But yeah, he was playing a song. We did a video with him at the beginning of summer, and he recorded a tune in the green room, which I highly recommend you checking out on our YouTube channel here. Really, really cool. It was in my head for like weeks, the track that he played. So he's going to be starting the show off. So you know that's going to be good. Before that, we have Rob Linus with Honky Tonk Airlines at the Golden Record on Thursday, August 8th. That's another fun one. You can get your tickets for those at Open Highway Presents or at thegoldenrecord.live. We have a bunch of dates coming up with them and also with the Old Rock House, who are amazing. Love working with them too, so all good. I hope you enjoy this interview with Sunny as much as I did recording it. She pulled over on the side of the road. You know, it's I think one of the things that gets lost in touring artists is just how much you have to do. You know, it's like you see the show, but you don't see the merch deliveries and the spreadsheets and the routing and the blah, blah, blah. There's a lot that goes on there logistically. And as you'll hear in this interview, she said that she's become very knowledgeable in like every aspect of that. So it's really great to see her in such a good place and fiercely independent. And the show's going to rule. So enjoy the interview. Thank you for joining us, Sunny Sweeney.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you're going to be here in St. Louis this Saturday at the Golden Record.
Yes, it's a cool room.
Yeah, it's the first date on a busy rest of the year for you. I was looking at some of your dates. You're going to be kind of working your way out to the west of US, and then you're going over to the UK.
Yeah, we've got a booking agent that actually has a map now. So this is, she actually routes things properly. So that's totally good. Yeah. Doing like actual like 2 and 3 week runs. It's great.
Maps are good for that sort of thing.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. And the big news that I'm seeing people have been sharing it in my world on Facebook is the new show on Outlaw on Sirius.
Isn't that wild? Like it's such like an out of left field situation anyway, because Jeremy Tepper that passed away in June, he's an old friend of mine, and I hadn't talked to him in a while, and then I get this random text from him. It's like, "Hey, is this still Sweeney? Give me a call." I was like, "What?" So I called him, and he was like, "Hey, your name keeps getting tossed around for this show." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Are you interested in doing radio?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I said, "I didn't ask if it paid or if I needed to move or anything. I just said yes.
Yes.
And it was like at a really like a kind of huge turning point business wise for me because I had just let everyone go. And I was basically starting over, making my own decisions. So it was kind of actually perfect, honestly. Because I wouldn't have been able to do that with having to make it go through all the hoops and everything
Right.
otherwise. So
Right.
I was just able to make a choice on my own and be like, yeah, yes, when do I start? How do I
Yeah.
start? Where do I start? So full circle moment because we just released a song called My Own Lane last week or the week before. And that idea is kind of about that time in my life. So it was kind of not planned, but very serendipitous, I guess, that song came out the same week that this new thing started. Because this is another opportunity that presented itself from the Willie's Roadhouse thing, which I've been
Hmm.
doing for like little over 2 years. Um, so yeah, it's been very interesting at least. And I know I hope he's looking down, clapping, going, yay, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, we're really happy for you, and organically, I was just seeing people really excited about it. Here in St. Louis, my circles of people.
Cool.
What when you're going about that show, what is the process like getting everything together? You're curating music. You have to think about all sorts of different things throughout the show.
I mean, honestly, it's just I'm actually learning a lot about music too. A lot of music that I don't, you know, typically because I'm so old school. Like
Hmm.
I love old country music and for my own enjoyment, that's what I listen to. Um, so, but there's so much cool shit coming out now. Like, God, there's so many women making great
Yeah.
music too. Like, there's so many dudes making great music too. But I mean, I love it, and I'm a huge supporter of women, and I just, and it's not because I'm a woman that I'm saying that. It's just, and I hate delineating the fact that it is, I'm saying great women or music's being made by, great music's being made by women. But honestly, like the records that I'm gravitating towards right now are they're happening to be women artists. So I think that's great. Coming out and coming out in numbers now, force. So
It is great to see, and we have Caitlin Butts at the Golden Record in September. She has a new record out that's crushing. I've been listening to that one. We have Morgan Wade in November as part of her tour. So there's yeah, I mean, just to echo what you're saying, it's
cool.
it's really great to see. I'd love to just pick your brain on some of the songwriters in Americana right now that you're really interested in, or who are inspiring you.
Literally probably on the verge of obsessed with Tyler Childers and Sturgill Simpson's latest records. I I don't even here's the thing. I'm always super careful about who wrote what songs, and I presume that as artists that write songs that they wrote all their songs, but I've been really forced to look at songwriting like credits on there because a lot of the people aren't, there are like a cover. I write songs, but I put like one or two covers on every
Hmm.
record too. So um but man, just as artists, those two guys that do whatever I don't know how to say Sturgill's new name, the new record, Johnny Blue Skies. Like I don't know how
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say passage to something. It's bad ass. Like
yeah.
it is so good. And like he's just one of those artists. And I don't know him. I've never met him, anything. I really gravitate towards his music because I can tell that there's older influences, which
Hmm.
that's kind of a pet peeve for me when people say, "Oh, I love so and so," but then their music does not um show that at
Right.
all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get some like bro saying that he loves like Hank Williams. It's like, dude.
Right.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
please sing a couple of Hank songs
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me? Like, please get out of here. So
yeah.
anyway, that but with Sturgill, it's like you can tell that he has influences that he abides by their guidance, sort of. And the same thing with Tyler Childers. And I've never even seen Sturgill live. I've seen Tyler live once. And it's sort of like you go into this, event and you go, okay, please sound like your record. Please sound like your record. Cause I love your record. Please make it sound like your record. And you walk in and the first note out of that dude's mouth, and you get chill bumps and you go, cool, he sounds like his record. To me, it's all about an individual voice and like, I love songs. All of our entire industry is based on a song. So none of us would have a job if it weren't for the song. Even like, merch guys wouldn't even have a job in the music industry if there weren't songs. Like every single person's job is based on a song. So it's very important, obviously. And I like songs for certain reasons. Music is subjective. So you can like a song that I hate, vice versa, or I can have a song that puts me, to my knees, holy shit, I can't believe that was a real song. Like that was the most amazing thing I've ever heard. But then it could not affect the next person. So that's the great part about music being subjective, is you can just, like what you like. And so I like music for a certain reason. You like music for a certain reason. But then if you couple that with like a very unique voice, actual like singing voice, not even necessarily being the greatest singer on the planet, but just like a voice that is distinctive and doesn't sound like mushed up everything else, like all together. Like I want to be able to know that if someone is singing a jury summons to me, that I'll know who it is, without knowing the song. So that's kind of like all a more of like an umbrella reason why I personally like songs. But again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and it's been great to see Tyler Childers in particular like stand up for the different things politically that he believes in, and just it's not even political, just values, and putting his money where his mouth is and risking a backlash, and I love that he's just stood by his beliefs as this has gone on.
Yeah, and I mean there's some artists, do that, and some artists, like I feel like I've seen some artists do that and then they get shot down by the public. I feel like it's more of like a mood, like depending on kind of the climate and the temperature of what else is going on at the current time, whether people will accept something or not. And I mean, we live in the year 2024, almost 25. So like, guess what? Not everyone's going to be the same. You know what I mean? And how boring would that be if we were? Like, it would be the most boring world on planet Earth if all of us were the same and if nobody had opinions. I mean, some of my best friends in the earth, I have differing opinions on, and we have actual adult conversations about why our opinions differ. And to be frank with you, some of my opinions have shifted after listening, because it's just something, maybe I didn't know, or maybe they didn't know, maybe their opinions have shifted. So I think more of it is just like having an open mind more than anything.
Yeah, not just assuming everything. I think that's been one of the weird things about the last, handful of years here. It's just, you can hang out with people who are different than you, and it's all good.
Wait, you can?
Yeah, it's blowing people's minds. And you could have like people like, oh, I don't talk politics or whatever. It's like you can have an adult discussion about it if you want to. If you want to.
And the problem is that I don't want to. Like I would rather not talk about divisive subjects, because there's a reason it's called a divisive subject, because then you will alienate someone by having an opinion on that. So it's so easy because there's so much other shit to talk about. You can talk about other stuff, music is a brings everyone together. So I mean, you can always talk about music because there's always a ton of music coming out. Lately, oh my God, there's so much music coming out. So it's like every day I turn my computer on, I'm like, oh, there's so much more music. Oh, how are we going to fit all this in this? There's so much music coming out.
Yeah, and a lot of really good artists. It's like a double-edged sword with streaming and things, because you can get an artist who, if the people just choose that they like it, it's almost outside of the realm of like a record deal or the people choose, and
Yeah, no, and I mean, I lived in that world for a little bit and I had a record deal and I call it my time on the artist protection program. Um, it was it was it was interesting. It was an interesting time. But that being said, I wouldn't trade it for anything because I did get, you know, a lot out of it. Um, Collectively, I got a lot out of that time in my life. But I will say that now that is not necessarily a thing that I would ever do again.
hmm
A, because I like making my own decisions, and you
yeah,
can't when you have 9 men sitting around a table making decisions for you. So you can't make your own decisions because you're just a girl artist, quote.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
who happen to be very opinionated and knowledgeable, and I run my own business
right.
and I'm doing a fine job at it. So maybe I was there too early in my career. I mean, maybe it would be wise to try to do that now because I am very knowledgeable. I know every aspect of my business. There is nothing that I don't know how to do in this business, unfortunately and
Yeah,
fortunately.
right,
um, but I'm not above anything either. Like
right,
if it means that I have to load gear, I'm loading gear.
right.
Like I mean, we got to do the gig. So um I'm grateful that I have, a wonderful band that helps me do a lot of stuff. And
hmm
then adding this radio show on top of it, it really adds a whole other dimension. The time element.
Right.
Um, so there's plenty of time where we're literally driving down the road and I'm like, okay, everybody needs to be quiet because I'm about to have to
Like a Radiohead or
do my
whatever.
radio
Yeah.
break, and they're so cool about it and everybody's, you know, helpful and it's great.
Well, it sounds
So
like you
I
got a.
love I love it.
That's great. Yeah, it seems like you have a really nice support system around you with agent, manager, and band. I mean, it's good.
I couldn't ask for anything more, honestly. Like you know, there's certain things that are missing that I've had before, but also the missing part doesn't outweigh the happiness and the great part that is there now. So great.
What is something when you're not on the road or you're not writing or recording that brings you peace?
Hmm. Sleeping. Sleeping brings peace. Um,
Sleepy's good.
Going to Hot Works. I love Hot Works. I know that sounds like, basic bitch problems, but like it's like a workout place. I love it.
What is
It's
it?
like,
Is it like hot inside?
yeah, you set your, I was gonna say your calculator. You set your thermometer to up to 130 degrees and you just sit in there and do exercises and sweat. It really
Yeah.
sounds repulsive, but it's great.
No,
That's why I look like this right now. That's where I just went. Um, but yeah, it's a great stress reliever. So,
yeah.
and I'll take my phone in there sometimes and make phone calls until it gets over about 120 and then my phone starts getting too hot, so I have to put
Yeah.
it outside.
You're like, if you suddenly stop hearing from me, call 911. This is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. No, it's really hot in there. Like it's like
I love that
really,
though.
really
Yeah.
hot. But it's also very relaxing. So I have no um I don't really I hurt my foot a while back and a couple of weeks ago and I haven't been able to do anything except go in there and sit and sweat. So that's been nice.
Yeah, like yeah, it's weird saying like sweating is nice, but it's when I've always wanted to have a steam room put in my house because I love
I do
that
too.
sweating out.
This is dry
Oh, okay,
heat as
sauna E.
opposed to it's like red light dry
Yeah,
heat. But well, I like this one place where I go that has the dry heat, and then you can
yeah,
go get in the sauna heat where it's like the hot air, kind of do both of them. It's completely does different things to your body. Like both things do different things to your body. Um, but yeah, I prefer this one. And although I hate sweating like on stage,
yeah.
this is not the same thing because I'm prepared to sweat. That's why I try to tell myself I'm doing conditioning for gigs by doing
Yeah.
this.
You should do like a
outside
montage video.
outside gigs in Texas. Like who
Yeah.
books outside gigs in Texas in the summer? What is going on?
Are you in the Austin area?
No, we are actually in Tennessee.
Okay.
So we moved up here and that heat is too much for
Oh
me
my
all year
God,
round.
yeah. In the
All year.
summertime.
No, it's like all year. Like in November, a couple years ago, I was sitting there outside at 1 o'clock in the morning on the porch with some friends, and I was sweating, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
So, I just made a little change and moved up to, Nashville, this area, and um, it's hot here right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very hot, but it also cools off to 75 at night,
Yeah.
and it's just, some people love being hot. I hate being hot. Like I want to go to Montana in February. So
Okay.
I want to live in the Arctic.
Really?
Yes.
Wouldn't that
I
be depressing?
probably, but I still hate being hot. So as
Yeah.
long as I can stay cold, and we have an air conditioner obviously in our house, but we installed another air conditioner in the bedroom so that we could make it like a meat locker.
Right. Okay. So if I could ask, what do you keep the temperature at in the room?
Meat locker.
For real?
Like 60 degrees.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that makes you sleep better.
It not only makes you sleep better, it helps your allergies. If you have allergies, it helps you stay asleep. It helps your uh whatever it's called, like health, like your staying cold, like
Immune system
if
type
you're
of thing.
if you yeah, immune system. Like if you're hot, imagine like a hot petri dish, and there's like some kind of bacteria in a hot petri dish. It's going to
Hmm.
grow faster in a
Yeah.
hot room.
Yeah.
So cold would make that not grow as fast. So like as an adult, my mom, thank God, always kept it cold too, because I've always been hot natured. But um, as an adult, when I go into hotel rooms, I'll crank it down. I mean, like one time we went into a hotel room, and I actually told Harley to come over and get his camera. I said, get your camera and walk over here, and you're not going to believe this. I'm just like punching, going down. It went to 49 degrees, and we left it.
Oh my God.
He was like, are you insane? I was like, yes, I'm insane. And we are going to be well when we wake up. Like we are not
Hmm.
going to ever be sick. Anyway, it's 49 degrees. It's crazy. But also you can always add more clothes. You can't take more clothes off. That's how I
Exactly.
look at it.
Totally. Yeah, just put a hat on. You could be like a
My
hipster in
my
bed.
rationale is weird, I know, but
No, I get it. It's funny that I didn't know this was gonna go down this path, but this is fun. I listened to a podcast about like really successful people. They did like a summation of their things, and one of the similarities that they all used was like that cool pad that you bring and you could put on a mattress, and it can turn it down to like what you're saying, like sleeping cold.
oh yeah. No, I mean, it's like it's definitely, I feel like, a thing to stay cool. Um, you know, and honestly, like these are the kind of interviews I like where there's not anything specific that we have to talk about. It's just like bullshitting. If we can talk about air conditioning, that's great.
It's a good racket to be into. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of maybe went down the wrong career path because it's pretty expensive.
Well, you could do like Sunny Sweeney HVAC.
Yeah.
You just rig it so it's cold everybody's house. One interesting thing, I was looking through, your bio, and you were born in Longview, Texas.
I was born in Houston, but I was raised in Longview.
Longview.
Mm-hmm.
That is, there's a Green Day song called Longview, and it's named after that.
Oh yeah, I
city.
know. And in high school we used to listen to that song actually. It was pretty funny. And I think they're talking about Longview, Washington, maybe, or Longview.
I thought it was Texas. I could be wrong.
Oh, I don't think so.
Really?
Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think we always thought it was another Longview because I have another friend that's an artist named Sarah Gail Meach, and she is from Longview, Washington. I'm sure there's more than one Longview.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's about that. I don't know.
Well,
I don't think so, though.
all right. Well, we'll have to find that out. But this has been a lot of fun. Sunny Sweeney, August 10th at the Golden Record. Really appreciate you taking the time out to join us on this and just doing this podcast, kind of getting it off the ground. I realize how hard and how natural people on the radio like yourself make it seem. But it's a whole skill that I think you don't really get even until you start doing it. So
It's definitely a learning curve, I'll tell you that, because even like the volume in which you talk, I mean, it's like it's weird. It's all very weird, and it's all very left field. I didn't know any of this was in my pipeline. So grateful for it. I love it. I've loved the fans that I've got to meet from Willie's and Outlaw. It's pretty bizarre. It's like a whole nother dimension of people. It's very strange. Like where like you knew they were out there, but then they actually come to your show, and I'm so grateful that I get to do this. I really am.
Well, thrilled for you, and
Thank you.
things are going in the right direction. Seems like you're working so hard, and you seem like you're in a good place. So thank you so much for taking time out to join us.
You're so welcome. Thank you. And I will talk to you. Is that Saturday? Yeah, Saturday.
Yes, my light just went out. Look at that. My light went out just as this interview was ending.
Perfect timing. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Saturday.
Okay,
Bye.
Take care. See ya.
Bye.
Oh man, I hope you liked that interview as much as I did recording it. I didn't know we were going to talk as much about like steam rooms and saunas and sweating, but that's just one of the winding roads that we sometimes go down here on the Open Highway podcast. A little bit of artist stuff that I do. If you're hearing this, my band and I are going to be playing at Grub and Groove in Francis Park this Saturday, August 10th, before the Sunny Sweeney show. We play 6 to 7:15. So then you could, just roll on over to the south side and catch Sunny Sweeney at the Golden Record. But it's going to be a really fun show. It's rare that I get to have a show where my kids can come, so I'm excited for them to come and check it out. And it's honestly one of the best events with live music that's family friendly, in my opinion, in St. Louis. They've been going for like 10 years, I think, Grub and Groove has. So it's slowly built up steam. And they got a great lineup of artists every year. And I'm thrilled to be playing this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This Saturday, August 10th at Francis Park, 6 to 7:15. I got a big old band with horns and stuff, so I'm pumped for that. I'm going to do some rehearsals this week. But anyways, make sure if you want to go see Silverado or Ben Nichols, August 14th and 15th, respectively, that you get your tickets. Those are selling quick, and they're going to be great shows. So, again, Check out thegoldenrecord.live or Open Highway Presents. And as always, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoy them. I'm starting to really enjoy making them. So we're just going to keep having these really fun interviews with these amazing artists, which I'm grateful to get. So thank you for listening. Tell your friends. Party. And once again, thank you for listening to the Backstage at Open Highway podcast. Gas.